So we're ready to start?
Yes,
We'll
sir.
call the meeting to order. And our first order tonight is to recognize the retirement of District Judge Harry Nesbitt for 24 years of service to our community. Mr. Walker? Okay, I guess we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You can go through that again too, Bill, if you like.
The Honorable District Judge Harry Nesbitt. How's that? I'll update it. Mr. Goodday Walker?
Well, tonight we had the privilege of recognizing our district judge of 24 years in Horsham. It just seems like yesterday, but many of us that are at the staff level worked with Judge Nesbitt over the 24 years, and it was certainly a pleasure. Harry, well, we lose 24 years of experience and knowledge and fairness. I think Harry was very fair. Sometimes we went in front of him and we didn't agree with him sometimes, but I think, when you look at his... but when you look at, at his position, and many were our residents, and most of them were our residents in businesses, and Harry took a very fair approach over the last 24 years, upholding our ordinances, working with us, working with our police officers, but also being fair to the people that were in front of him, being fair to the township and the people in front of him. So we will certainly miss him in his retirement, but we wish him a very happy and long retirement and thank him for his 24 years of service to our community. I remember I was in Parks and Rec when Harry became judge, and at the time I was the only one in Parks in Horsham, and I was running down to Harry's court saying, I need community service help. I don't have any employees. And Harry gave and assigned individuals to help in the park system at those years and those times. So we will miss you, Harry, and thank you for all that you did for Horsham and the community over those 24 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. It was my pleasure.
Can you go to the mic, sir, please?
Sorry?
Can you go to that mic?
To the microphone.
I wasn't anticipating that. It was my pleasure over these last 24 years working with the township, and particularly working with the Horsham Police. I think the community and the people that we dealt with, even though the police and I didn't always agree, certainly the defendants and I rarely agreed, but I think everybody that came to Horsham Court felt that they were heard, they were respected, and that we treated them fairly, both the police and myself. I think that was indicative of 18 years where nobody ran against me and I was unopposed. So I was really proud of that. I think moving forward with Judge Stevens, I think we're going to emulate that for the community. So I'm really humbled to retire, and I thank you for your recognition.
Harry, one of the things I'd like to say, just to add on to what Mr. Gildea Walker said, is over the years, one of the most consistent reports I heard about your court was with regard to fairness and all the things that you did to help particularly youth get through their problems. And I would just like to say, for me, that was a big deal. So I appreciated hearing that.
Yeah, we had some problems here for a while with heroin. Thank God, knock on wood, it's been much improved over the last 4 or 5 years. But so dealing with the kids, and we lost quite a few, unfortunately. But yeah, it was, this local court is something that can really impact people. The kids in particularly, and like Bill said, that we've been doing community service since I started. It's still being done day after Horsham Day. And so those kind of things are really beneficial for as a local court. It's really important for to be accessible and heard. So I think that was one of the keys for us. And if I go to Giant or Acme, I don't get beat up by people, so that's good as well. So. But thank you.
Well, we do have a proclamation that
You
I'd
have a
like to read.
proclamation?
You betcha. You didn't think you were going to get away without that, did you? Whereas, we are here today to express our appreciation to Honorable Harry J. Nesbitt III and to honor him for his time as Montgomery County Magisterial Judge within Horsham Township and for his dedicated service to the residents of Horsham. And whereas, Harry began his career as District Justice in Horsham Township in 2000, and his entire career was spent in the Fort Washington and Horsham area. Having only been contested in his first election, Harry was uncontested in his remaining 24 years on the stand. And whereas, prior to being a judge, Harry started as a typesetter and progressed into owning and operating a successful pre-press company for more than 15 years, Nesbitt Graphics, Inc. Harry was raised in Horsham since he was a child and is a graduate of Hatboro Horsham High School. He still lives in Horsham Township, and all his children were raised here. And whereas, on behalf of the entire Township of Horsham, we want to express our sincere appreciation to Harry for his dedication over the past 24 years. He always prided himself on his fairness and his lifelong service to Horsham Township, and for that we are grateful. We wish him much happiness as he begins his existing chapter in his new life.
Harry?
Congratulations. All right, now, you only get to look at it.
Because we need another signature.
No problem.
Yes.
I'll touch base with you before you go. Okay.
Wonderful to meet you.
I know the routine.
1, 2, 3. One more?
And on this side. Now we're good. Thank you.
So the next item would be any opportunity for questions and comments from the public. Do we have any questions or comments?
Yes, I'd like to say something. Yes, my name is Patricia Wade. I would like to just read a short statement to everyone. I recently heard that the council members, Samantha and Ellen, have sought to remove me from the Horsham Zoning Board. What have I done wrong beside being a woman and a mother? Because of credentialism, you are trying to replace me with a woman. With a man. What happened to the gender representation that you ran on? During my decade-long tenure, I have overseen countless residential and commercial properties, worked with neighbors to ensure the new middle school was built in the best and most beneficial manner for the community, and diligently carried out my daily duty without reproach. I have lived in Horsham over 30 years, and I have raised 6 children with my husband, Joseph. The priorities of my children always superseded my own at the impediment of my professional goals. After my last child graduated from Hatboro Horsham High School and joined the Marine Corps, I re-entered the workforce and fought against discrimination and stereotypes that only a woman who has decided to re-enter the professional world after raising children would know. Echoes of underqualification and lack of experience linger everywhere in the world I live in. Despite this, I have won several awards for my exemplary performance as a farmer's insurance agent and have conquered the challenges and discriminations like the ones you women are trying to once again impose on me. I implore you to stand up for women everywhere and join me in showing that the qualifications of an individual go far beyond gender and credentials. Join me in the fight for true equality and choice. Do not punish me for being a woman and a mother, and live up to the oath you have taken. I am seeking your support for reappointment as a member of the Horsham Township Zoning Hearing Board, and hope to continue to serve my fellow community members. Thank you for your time.
right, do we have any other comments from the audience or anyone?
Just a couple announcements. So we fared fairly well with the storm last night. Horsham received 3.5 inches of rain from 5 p.m. to midnight. And the good news is we had no property damage in Horsham Township and no water rescues in Horsham Township. So a big thank you to our police department, our public works department, and our Horsham Fire Company. They were out through the evening and through the night and into the morning hours, protecting our township and protecting us, and they did a fantastic job. So we fared very well due to a lot of the effort of our staff, and we appreciate that. So, and also the residents who heeded the warnings. And as we were talking, we started to see the traffic back up here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so people were trying to get themselves home earlier in the day, and they stayed home. So that helped a lot managing this storm. But as fast as it came up, from 5 p.m. to midnight, it went down pretty rapidly too. So I think it was around 4 a.m. that most of the roads were all open, and Chestnut Lane was the last one to reopen later in the morning. So again, I know the chief is here, so thank you, Chief Fida, and your staff and your officers for the great job that they did. The second announcement is, if you've been on Blair Mill Road, the new traffic signal at the shopping center driveways, where Lowe's and I call it the Hobby Lobby, but the Horsham Gate Shopping Center, that went on flash today, which hopefully it'll be on regular cycle Monday or Tuesday of next week. So that'll be a really great safety improvement for not only motorists, but also pedestrians. And just those two announcements.
Hey, thank you. Next item would be the approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motions are approved. The treasurer's report.
The balance in the general fund as of December 31st, 2023, and thus the balance carried over into 2024 is $4,692,366.39. In 2023, we did transfer $667,011.30 to the Capital Improvement Fund. These funds will be spent on the scheduled capital projects. Our budget has been significantly affected by the pandemic. The primary revenue affected is the earned income tax and local services tax. We will be closely monitoring our revenue throughout this year. For a more detailed presentation of our current financial position, I would refer you to your monthly booklets.
Do we have a motion to pay the checks?
I move to ratify the list of checks in all the funds in the amount of $888,151.96, and further move to authorize payment of the same.
You do.
All three. I move to approve the list of checks in all funds in the amount of $563,886.44, and further move to authorize payment of same. I move to ratify the U.S. Bank credit card transactions for the month of December 2023 in the amount of $16,806.97.
Do we have a second? It's been moved and seconded.
Just before the vote, Mr. President, just to point out the ratification, it is very high. I just wanted to point out it's for $888,000. $795,000 of that was for a settlement we made on a property as part of the Limekiln Pike Horsham Road intersection project right-of-way acquisition. So take that off the 888, it's much lower. And those bills that you're ratifying were bills that if we didn't pay them until now, the township would have incurred late fees, penalty fees, interest for not paying them on time. So we normally do that at the end of December.
Okay, thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All righty. The next item would be to look at compensation of the zoning hearing board. I understand that's going to be tabled. Do we have a motion to table that?
I move to table compensation of zoning hearing board.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All righty. So the next item would be our board appointments, broken down into a couple of motions just to make it easier to walk through. So do you need to make a comment?
Yes, I'm going to recuse myself for the appointment of zoning board.
All righty. So do we have a motion to nominate for that?
I nominate Patricia Wade to a 3-year appointment to the Zoning Hearing Board.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item would be to make the next 3 appointments. Do we have a motion for that?
I move to nominate Anthony Spangler to a 1-year appointment to the vacancy board. I further move to appoint John Edgar to a 5-year appointment to the environmental advisory board, and further move to appoint Janet Whiteside to a 3-year appointment to the library board of directors.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay?
May I make a comment for the minutes? I want to state my goal as an elected representative is to engage more Horsham residents with opportunities to serve the community. I am grateful to those who have served our community in these roles as volunteers and are being reappointed tonight. I'd like to acknowledge their dedicated service, but I'd be remiss if I didn't advocate for those who have also expressed interest through the procedures outlined on the Township website to be given a chance to serve. The natural time for these transitions is during meetings when appointments are being determined, typically the reorganization meeting. I would like to encourage any interested residents to visit the Boards and Commissions page on the Township website to learn more about these roles and identify areas of interest, attend public meetings, and apply if so inclined via email to our Township manager. To reiterate, I am genuinely grateful. At the same time, the overall goal is to ensure more residents have a voice at the tables where decisions are being made. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. So then the next item would be to table the next appointment for the Water and Sewer Authority. Do we have a motion for that?
I move to table the appointment for the water and sewer authority.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All righty, ayes have it. Okay, then the next item is to consider the Huff Associates proposal for collection of recycling data.
The township's been using Huff Associates. What they do for the township is they manage and collect recycling tonnage. There's a state grant program out there. It's called the DEP 904 grant program, and communities get money back from the state for good recycling performance. So, but it's very tough. It's very time consuming. You need many resources to track all the tonnage of recycling, especially when you have multiple haulers in town. So between the residential and commercial side, residents, I believe there's now 3 or 4 haulers, but the commercial side, we have almost 10 haulers that haul for shopping centers and office parks and businesses in town. So to track those tonnage rates throughout the year is very difficult. So Huff Associates, they've been doing this for over 15 years for Horsham Township. They have a very, they're in Bucks County, Montgomery County, Allegheny County, Chester, Delaware, Lehigh, Northampton. There's a whole list of local municipalities that they work for and do this for. And we benefit from their services. It's about $15,000 a year is the contract. It's a 3-year contract, but we bring in normally $100,000, sometimes over $100,000 per year with their help they provide us. So their 3-year contract expired the end of last year. So in front of you this evening is another 3-year contract for 2023, 2024, and 2025. It remains at $15,000 per year. They have not raised that on us for probably about 3 contracts now.
Okay, and do we have a motion?
I move move to authorize a 3-year agreement, 2023, 2024, 2025, with Huff Associates in the amount of $15,000 per year to collect residential and commercial recycling data and to prepare the PA DEP 904 recycling grant applications for Horsham Township.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All righty. So our last item tonight is to review an amendment for a land development plan for Regency at Waterside. It's my understanding that there's no new relief being asked for us, but they're required to come to us and show us the changes.
Correct. They have a recorded land development approved plan and for the Regency at Waterside, and they're here in front of you this evening to talk mainly about 4 lots that they would like to adjust. So they're not adding to the development plan. They're not changing stormwater. They're not changing streets and curbs. It's really a lot adjustment, and Greg Adelman, their attorney's here to go over those proposed adjustments.
Great. Thank you, Bill. Good evening. Greg Adelman here on behalf of Regency at Waterside, which is Toll Brothers. Bill correctly stated we're here for pretty much some minor plan changes, primarily to Phase 4, which was the car tract, which is yet to be developed at this point. The primary purpose between the changes is really to create 50-foot wide lots so that the larger product can be an available option for any prospective individual lot purchaser. So I have George Hartman here is next to me. He's our project engineer, and he can just summarize the changes a little bit more. I see Bill put up the plan, which really shows the contrast between what was once there, I believe, in blue and purple blue, sorry, and what's being proposed in red. I don't know, George, if you just want to touch on the minor changes.
Yeah, so the main thing, the main goal here was some of the lot widths accommodated a 40-foot wide unit. There was a combination of 40-foot wide and 50-foot wide units that could be accommodated in the lots as it was previously laid out. So now, all the lots can accommodate a 50-foot wide unit. The number of lots did not change. We just kind of shifted some things around. So if you look at the top side here is where they were 40-foot wide. So they got wider and shifted around. And this red box is no longer a lot. All this shifting eliminated 1 lot. So we're down 2. This one in the bottom, the red box in the bottom is no longer a lot now. So we lost 3. And this center portion, there was 1, 2, 3 here on the previous plan. And now the top left got rotated up, and there's 3 across the top and 3 across the bottom. So there's 6 here now where there used to be 3. So that's where we added the 3 back in that we lost. So the number didn't change. And like I said, all the lots can accommodate a 50-foot wide unit.
Right, and there were some minor utility and grading adjustments as a result of the lot modifications. But your engineers reviewed them and has found those minor changes to be acceptable. So that's pretty much it, and we're here to just get your comments on it at this point and then come back, hopefully at your next meeting for a more formal approval.
Mary, do you have some comments on this? And I know you mentioned earlier there were several things we needed to cover.
Mr. Edelman and I spoke this afternoon, and there are a couple items that we need to just tidy up, some easement relief and changing the timing for the traffic signal. But we'll do that before the meeting on the 22nd when they come back for approval.
Correct.
Okay. You have anything else? Eric, you have anything?
Nope, as Ms. Robin said, we were good with the plan revisions, real minor.
Okay. Well then, thank you for showing us, and actually it seems like better this way anyway.
I think it's a little more balanced layout, and one of the other benefits was there was 1 unit, if you noticed, I don't have the pointer, by the pump station. It would had a rear yard going up to the pump station, and now that's gone. We think that's a definite improvement in terms of residential options. So.
Good.
But thank you for your time this evening. Appreciate it. We'll see you in a couple weeks, hopefully. Have a good night.
If nobody has any further business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.